let's first hop into the Whitey Morgan concert I went to last week. So I did another super loserific go to a concert by myself thing because Megan was hanging out with her friend from college. So I was just like, well, you know what? I'm not going to sit around here. So I looked on Facebook and I had a reminder of like, oh, Red Shahan and Whitey Morgan's tonight at 7. I was just like, well, I think I can do that. So I was like, fuck it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like we talked about off air back, this weekend, I was like, yeah, I would have come because that would have, that's a great concert to go to. But also, I was really excited about doing absolutely nothing. So
yeah.
I only have minor regrets.
Yeah, and then,
there are still regrets.
Yeah, and
but they are minor.
Because I had put interested on it probably 3 months ago or something, and I was just like, you know what? If it wasn't like me at noon sitting, because I took the whole week off last week, which was fucking amazing. But
yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it was awesome. I didn't do, other than working around the apartment and going to the eye doctor, I didn't do anything, and it was amazing. Or I worked out a bunch.
Yeah.
But I was just sitting there at like noon. I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go to this concert tonight. Or maybe I even said it like the night before or something. But I was just like, well, that's not enough time to give you like, hey, Kevin, take a half day. Come on, go to the concert with me. So I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll go by myself. So I went to Hofbrauhaus, which is, I love that place so goddamn much.
It's a wonderful, wonderful place.
I got a burger, or they had like the pretzels with the beer cheese that I got an appetizer, a little mini pretzel with that, and then I got a burger, and I got 2 32-ounce fucking beers. So I drank a gallon of beer before I went to the concert, and that was
just as God intended.
Yeah, that was amazing. But yeah, we definitely, hopefully another concert will come around there soon so we can go to. They also have, they have the Hofbrauhaus, which is obviously amazing, but then right across like that little, field that they have there.
The thing that is sometimes an ice rink?
Yeah, sometimes an ice rink, sometimes it's grass. So they had a stage there, but no one was playing. I don't know, it was weird. But across there, there's a place called like Draft House or something, and it's just a huge bar with a wall of beers. I'm like, but now you're tearing... now I don't know if I want to go to Hofbrauhaus and get a boot or go there where there's a million beers. It's impossible to choose.
See, that is difficult, but I still feel like I would have to lean towards with a group of people, or just at least the two of us, where you can finish a boot.
Yeah.
The boot is just the boot is the boot.
And there's no Hofbrauhaus out there, whereas there's a million Draft Houses. Not that specific chain, but there's a million Draft Houses where there's just a shit ton of beer.
Yeah, I mean we got Beer Stube. Fuck, I could blanked on the name.
Got Beer
so
Stube.
I've managed to get boots. But we don't get nearly as many boots anymore.
But then, we also, when we would get boots, we'd get boots of like Coors Light because they didn't have any German. Well, I mean, they had some German beer, but whereas Hofbrauhaus is a brewery, so they have their own shit. And I got their summer beer, which was fucking amazing. It was so good. But so we have but then you also have Armored Gardens, which is the same thing of there's just a million fucking beers there, so you're never...
What a place.
Yeah, you're never short on beer, so yeah, Hofbrauhaus is definitely the choice of when we go to Rosemont. But yeah, so that was dinner. I sat there by myself like a cool kid, just drinking a giant fucking beer by myself. Like, but then as I finished,
it's like this guy's got problems.
Yeah, so I sat at just a tall table by the bar because you don't have to have someone seat you or whatever. So I was sitting there, and then I got up and went to the bar for my second beer after I got done eating. And some girl was just like, "I love your shirt. I love American Aquarium." I'm like, why do these people only exist like every little bit sporadically? Like, what the fuck? Because
they crawled out from under the rock that they were under, and then came into public, and then immediately scurried back under.
Yeah,
later.
Even though obviously I'm very happily taken and whatnot, I was at the concert. I saw just like random groups of like girls at this concert. I'm like, why weren't these girls existing when I was single? Like at the Whitey Morgan fucking concert.
Well, especially that kind of concert. I mean,
yeah.
All right, let's begin the feminist angering here with usually women don't want to go to a show like that.
Yeah.
Just in a group together.
And I saw one girl there alone. I was just
it's not White Claw country. Yeah, why are they together?
Yeah, this is Jim Beam country, not White Claw country. But yeah, but then I got to the show. I got there right as Red hit stage because I wanted to finish my giant beer, and those don't take, it took me an hour to finish 2 32-ounce beers, but which to most
weak.
Yeah, I was gonna say to most people that's a lot longer of a time, and to some people it's less time. But a gallon of beer in an hour, that's fine. So I stumbled my way over there because it hit me pretty quick. And then so Red hit stage, and I was standing right in front because there wasn't that many people. Of which, if you look at our Instagram, I posted a picture of it. I was right there. And then so he was awesome because he sang Culberson County, he sang Men and Coyotes, I don't know, a bunch of shit. It was awesome. But then he got off stage and he was at his merch table. I went over and I chat with him for a little bit, and I was like, "Yeah, what the fuck, man?
Very nice.
This is the 3rd time I've seen you, but the other 2 times I've had to go to Oklahoma to see you." And he's just like, "Oh, you going Missing Stone again this year?" I was like, "Nah, it's just too much for us. Like, it's hard for us to get down there, so sorry, we're not going to see you again this year." But
yeah, it's just a lot of fucking time off, really.
Yeah,
more than anything.
Exactly. And yeah, it's really not that bad of a drive. It's only 9 hours from your place, so it's 11 total for me. Like, it's not bad at all. But yeah, we figured we're gonna not go this year. But even though it sucks because American Aquarium's back this year, and there's I think Park McCollum's there also,
and then I mean the obvious no turnpike. So
yeah, and I don't listen to who took over from
Robert Earl Keen.
Yeah, I don't listen to Robert Earl Keen that much, so I was just like, it's not really that much.
Yeah, I would say I have a handful of his songs saved, and I recognize, I recognize the name, and I recognize the sound and the music and all that stuff, and I know that there's a lot of people who really love him and will probably get some shit online for even saying that we don't know Robert Earl Keen that much.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things. My brain only has so much in it, and that's just not one of those things at this juncture.
Yeah, on it's just like how just recently someone commented on our Saddest Songs podcast, and it was just another comment of like, "What about Chris Knight, this song?" I'm just like, I'm sorry, we're not giant. We like Chris Knight, but I don't know that many of his songs. And
yeah,
but there's so many Chris Knight fans out there.
Yeah, and I do think that it's worth saying, because I don't know how many times we've discussed it, but like we are still, even though we've been diving into the world of Texas, red dirt, Oklahoma, all this alternative country.
Yeah,
we've been diving into this world for several years now. We're still noobs by comparison to someone who, say, grew up in Texas and had it always available to them. It's just one of those things that just, you don't know what you don't know, and then there's just no way to find out more about it. And so I think that there's probably a whole lot of artists that we probably don't know or only know a few songs from that someone would be like, well, what about this person? It's like, honestly, I don't know yet. I'm excited to learn more. For sure. That's one of the best things about this, about just diving into this community of music, is that there's so much good stuff that you're almost overwhelmed with the prospect of trying to do it. It's like if someone said, you've never heard of this, you've never heard of Game of Thrones. Why don't you just watch that entire show? And then, oh, you haven't seen The Wire. Watch that immediately after. It's like, that's a lot of time, bro. Yeah. You gotta give me some time.
Yeah, and even though we do know a lot of different music, we're by no means like Texas country experts. Like, people still introduce us to bands as much as we introduce other people to bands. Like, we're
also not professionals.
Yeah,
like the writers who write about it, and they can just listen to music throughout the day and be like, this is actually like work. I have to stare at spreadsheets and find out how many TVs we sold.
Yeah, I have to listen to people bitch asking, "Where's my money?" It's like, it's coming once your shit's ready. But
the answer is fuck you.
Exactly. But anyway, then obviously Whitey hit the stage and he opened up with Bad News, and it was awesome. And then went into his usual jams, and it was funny because at one point he just, I don't know, I guess he was drinking or something on stage, and he goes, "You know what sucks about when I get drunk? I just want to play what I want to play." And so he went into 3 Waylon songs in a row, and I was just like, fuck yeah. Like, he did T is for Texas, he did Waymore's Blues, and I was just like, those aren't even like A-side Waylon songs. I mean, they're popular Waylon songs, but they're not even like the ones that, he's not doing Mama's Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up or like,
Yeah.
Hank didn't, or are you sure Hank done this way? Like, he was doing
Yeah.
T for Texas and Waymore's Blues. I was just like, that's awesome. And then he sang obviously a bunch of his fucking hits from his newest album back to his old shit, and yeah, it was awesome. I left right before he ended. Like, I think I left during his finale because it was when they were jamming a whole bunch and shit, and it was almost 2 hours into the show. And then, but when I was front stage at the start of the concert, I moved back to grab another beer, and then I just was like, I don't feel like being that close. It's a small bar. You don't have to be that fucking close. So I went back there, and I'd taken a peek quickly at his set list just to see, and I saw that his encore, because it had a gap between the other songs, it was Sinner, Me and the Whiskey, and shit. Now, is it Waiting Around to Die?
Yeah, hold on.
But yeah, so I left right before the
Oh, yeah, you were saying the encore, Waiting Around to Die, and Sitter. That's awesome. As everyone knows, because I've said it a bunch of times, Sinner is my favorite Whitey Morgan song, and it is such a goddamn jam.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
If it wasn't someone I'd already seen 3 or 4 times before then, because we went to Indy to see him, we saw him at Ribco, we saw him in Peoria, and I think that's it for me. Might be more, but that's the 3
I think that's,
remember at the top of my head. So
I think that's
probably
it. Oh no, I saw him in Georgia, so 4
Yeah.
for me. Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
that was so if it hadn't been already the 3rd time, I would have stuck around, but I was tired.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So,
yeah, and you're by yourself, so it's
yeah. So I got home, passed out.